I am down here in Winter Haven, downtown. Got a meetup coming up this weekend. Photo walk and meetup over at Bowen Yard. That'll be with Central Florida Photo Club, which I run. And so I wanted to come downtown and get some video of just spots to show off Winter Haven, and so we can advertise for this meetup, which I'm excited about. I think it's going to be a fun time, and I think we'll have a good time walking around this beautiful downtown. So that's what I kind of want to show off, and I figured I would just make a little video showing off some of my favorite spots to take pictures. Got a camera, I'll take some pictures while I'm down here. And I'm gonna try to not get hit by a car. But as you can see, I don't know what this video is gonna look like. I don't know what it's gonna sound like. I did a little test at home with the lapel mic, and it worked out great. It sounded great, but even outside in the wind, but downtown there's a lot of noise. There's a lot going on, you know. So, I am headed past the library here, down into Central Park. This is what they call it. They call it Central Park. So I think the first place I'm gonna take you down to is Central Avenue. It's kind of the heart of historic downtown. Got all the old buildings. You can see over here. This one actually was the very first Publix store. George Jenkins had his first Publix store here in Winter Haven. And that building is where that was, which is pretty cool. If you're not from the south of the U.S., Publix is a grocery store. So here is kind of the main downtown area. It's historic buildings. A lot of renovation has been done recently to kind of restore these buildings to what they used to look like. Only a few years ago, downtown was basically a sleepy, empty place that, you know, a lot of people just didn't go. I'm gonna grab a snap real quick. We'll see how this turns out. Kind of off the cuff here. Haven't even dialed in my settings, but luckily I have some stuff set to auto. I'm shooting Next Pro 3, and I've got this old Soviet Orion 15 lens on it. It's a 28mm lens, and it's a really cool, really sharp vintage lens. It's got some classic character, but it works. I've lived in Winter Haven the majority of my life, and so downtown has kind of become a place that I like to come down and just, I don't know, if I am feeling kind of like a lack of creativity, or if I have something new I want to test out. I want to try something new. I want to, I don't know, creatively reset. Downtown Winter Haven has become a place I like to come, and it gives me that. I've taken a ton of photos here. Actually, my first photo book and zine it was called West Central Ave, based on this road, and it was photographs taken along Central Avenue here in Winter Haven. So it's where I really, I don't know, it was the first place that I took a film camera out to take photos. Came down here, and got the pictures back, and that's kind of what made me really get back into photography. The excitement of, you know, getting these photos back that I had shot on film, and you know, at the time, I hadn't even realized film was still a thing. And I happened upon an old camera, and I was like, I wonder if I could use it and take pictures. And got a roll of film from, I don't know where, probably Walgreens or Walmart. Shot a roll, and that's history. I mean, I've been doing photography as a hobby since then. So we are at the intersection of 3rd Street and Central Avenue. Across the street again. I'm gonna take you down here to this little arcade. This is something I like to shoot too. We're gonna get on the sunny side of the Ritz sign. We're gonna come right out here. See if we can snag a photo of this Ritz sign. We're gonna take a few steps back, get a wider view of this. But the sun is nice. The sun's coming in, some good light. Try to get a good shot of that. I walk through back to this alley. I'm gonna come on out through here. We'll keep walking. Here's something fun. This old fire escape, casting some really cool shadows. Then try to grab a shot here. All right. We're gonna keep moving. Let's go across real quick. There we go. We're gonna see about this as a shot. This may be interesting. Got a lot of shape, a lot of lines. Very clean look right now. That restaurant recently closed, but it looks like they're working on putting something new in there. So, you know, always exciting to have something new coming in downtown. This building has been vacant for a while. You got an interesting alleyway here. The view of the water tower in the background. Let's see if we can get this. Yeah. We'll see how that turns out. Coming down Central, back to the parks that run right through the middle of downtown. We're gonna head this way, and we're gonna go back down to another one of my favorite buildings down here. This building, interesting. See how that comes out. It's windy out. I don't know how this audio is faring with this wind. I don't have any sort of windscreen, but it's up here. Hopefully it's protected from the breeze. We're coming up past the library, and library's got a little coffee shop here with it. All right. Crossing back over into this park. Got some art, sculptures, and really, just like a nice walkway right through the heart of downtown. Got historic buildings over here, library over there, and we've got this. This is the Winter Haven Chamber of Commerce building, and it is built in like 1990, designed by Gene Leedy, famous to the Winter Haven area and pretty influential, I guess, in the architecture community. There's a lot of his really distinctive buildings here in Winter Haven. He definitely had a really unique style. And this is a building I've come down and taken a lot of photos of, and I've never gotten one that I really like. Truly, like, that really stands out as like, yes, I captured the essence of this building, you know, and how it makes you feel. It's like I said, it's very distinct. And this kind of pathway underneath cuts right through, you know, leaves the path that runs basically the length of downtown, cuts right under this building. And this is basically where the railroad used to run a long time ago. It came right down through what is now the park, and kept going that way. And now they turned it into a really cool bike trail. It goes for a while. It follows the old railroad tracks that used to come right through the city. So yeah, I want to grab a few photos here. Maybe I'll have more luck this time getting a photo that I like. All these lines, a lot of straight lines, a lot of potential for interesting composition. Maybe I need a really wide angle lens to get what I'm trying to get, but I don't know. This is one of a place that I could spend a lot of time just kind of walking around, looking at angles, considering how to get a photograph that captures the building well. I don't know about you, but ever since Instagram changed their grid layout to make it longer, taller, I prefer posting photos that take advantage of that. So I'm in portrait orientation a lot. I don't know if I like that or not. Shouldn't be letting Instagram influence how I take photos. I don't know how much it does, but it does a little bit. I think about it. Unfortunately, I catch myself thinking about how it's gonna look as a post. That's bad. Trying to get some interesting compositions. We'll see how that comes out. So yeah, this is one of my favorite buildings downtown. I like this. With the leaves coming in, framing it. Let's see what we can do with this. And you gotta take a few steps back for this one. We'll see what that does. Gotta get some video for the meetup. Like I said, I want to make a post just highlighting kind of the cool things that we're gonna see downtown on our photo walk. All right, I'm gonna give the camera a break, get some video on my phone. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. This is interesting. There's a lot of contrast in this building. I've taken a shot of this building before. Coming back to shoot the same place again and again, just kind of what I've done down here. It's interesting because it makes you really, it can be harder to get something new, but it kind of makes you work harder for it. And I think that's a good thing. You know, you're imposing kind of limits on yourself if you're back at the same place and you don't want to take the same photos that you've already taken. So you're limiting yourself. And pretty much, at least for me, the way kind of I approach photography, limits help. That's why a lot of times I'm shooting film. It limits me and what I can do. Just helps bring a spark of creativity that otherwise might not be there. I don't know if that makes any sense. So yeah, thanks for coming along to see some of my favorite places here in downtown Winter Haven. It's a cute little town. Small, but in that way it has a lot of charm, I think. Let me get a photo of this alley across the street. See it out here. See what comes of that. I'm gonna head back to the car. I'm gonna drive down to Bowen Yard in a bit. That's where the photo walk is gonna start, and then we'll have a little meetup afterwards, hang out for a while. Always a chance for a shot in an alley. All right, so just me. Or is an alley gonna always make for an interesting photo? Cross here real quick. We'll make it back in the garage. All right, see ya.